So after the absolutely amazing feedback from last week's city update, I just couldn't wait to get back to the city this week and get messing around with more stuff in the downtown area. It was great reading people's comments on how they loved the changes of adding the park and rotating the city 90 degrees. In fact, I don't think I had one negative comment on that. So it's all staying for now, and I wanted to improve on it even further this week. I mean, look, it's actually starting to look like a city again. So with that, I wanted to carry on. Now, before we get into that, I wanted to showcase the modular of the week. This seems to be becoming a thing on the city update, but we did finish the town hall this week on our live stream, and I'm just gonna pop it over here where I think it's going to live, at least for now. But we'll get into more on that on next week's city update. There's also a secret modular getting added this week, but we'll get into that in a second. So first off this week, I wanted to really start polishing up the front part of the city. I mean, that's the section that's most viewable on all my vids, see? So with that, I wanted to spend time filling up the gaps in the new road plates with those precious 2x4 dark bluish grey bricks. And to do that, I had to buy, yep, you guessed it, even more road plates. Now I know I add more of those tiles to my layout as I'm widening the road, but please LEGO, can you add more of these tiles to your packs? They are like gold dust. I mean, I can't even find them on Bricklink or even Bricks and Pieces, your own store. However, talking of Bricks and Pieces, I did an order this week for the 1x4s and the 2x2s, so that should help with smarting up the streets at least a little, but I really want those 2x4s. So I tidied up the road plates, which honestly I think look great. I wanted to start adding a little detail to make them look even more swanky, and that's really easy to do with the setup I have now, as the pavements are 2 plates high. So I started rooting through all my unsorted bricks. Yes, I know I need to sort these better, and found just enough pieces to build a ramp on one side of the corner garage. Now ignore that sticker on the side. It's from Star Wars, the Arc Speeder set, and I can't bring myself to remove it, so I just replace it when I find another one. Anyway, so now cars and bikes can easily get access to the garage, at least on one side. They may wreck their car after, but they've already paid for their gas by that point, so it's all good. I've also added a few gaps to look like sewer drains, and I'll be adding grill pieces as well as even more detail, but they're also on that Bricks and Pieces order, so I couldn't really do that right now. So once I was happy with a little bit of extra detail, I just stood back in awe as this section of the city just was really starting to pop, except for that pesky MOC. This is why I don't do MOCs, guys. I just don't think they look as nice as official LEGO sets. Well, mine don't anyway. Anyways, I started to clear up the tiling section on the front with some red and tan tiles and extended out the driveway of the tuning shop, and it was starting to look pretty sweet actually. Now the only issue I had was the build itself. The gap at the side just isn't quite right, and I really want to improve that stairwell up to the skate shop, as it's just even more obvious that it sucks as it's positioned next to the greatest thing in my city, that insanely cool Soaps and Suds banner. So I wrote it out of the city to start to improve it, and that's where the journey for this building ends for this week. But a quick note, people were asking me how I was raising the city for cheap, and I have a little bit of a sneaky hack, which I think only applies to a few crazy Super Mario fans out there like me. So if you don't know, I bought every single, yes, every single Super Mario set, as I love collecting the buildable characters. But I don't really play or display the levels. These sets have actually become really good parts for raising up the city though, as I've been using those random coloured plates for extending the pavements, and these really weird 2 plate high platforms are great for listing up the buildings. And so far, they've been working great. So the reason the story ends for this building right now is my initial idea, which I still think is a great one, is to add the pizza shop and the dojo section from this other city building we had earlier in the year. However, it's 2 studs wider than the base plate, so it's going to require a little bit more work than I was initially thinking. And I would also have to mess with the heights a little bit, as I want to add some sort of balconies, similar to the Donut Newsagent's MOC, so people could use the stairs to access both the skate shop and the dojo. So I think I want to just make it look really cool like that. So this is what I was going to start working on this week. That was the plan. Concentrate on one road, he said. Well, with road plates sitting around, I just wanted to play with the idea of having that road going around one side of the park. Now, with the tables being quite close together and a couple of suggestions of having a one-way section of the city, I thought this could really work perfectly. So I started by just plopping down plates to see how it looked, and I think it gives a little more breathing room around the park and buildings, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Also, because it's a one-way street, I think I can get away with the pavement lip over the road plates, making the road slightly slimmer, but I think it works perfectly, as a one-way street would obviously be slimmer than a two-way one. So the only issue with this is I will need to add more dark bluish grey tiles. Like I said, they're on order. Well, the 2x2 ones are anyway. I think I need to slim myself down though and give my brain a little bit of a rest, because I had another genius idea this week as well when messing around with the layout, and it started by adding Sesame Street to the right of Assembly Square, having that nice corner and the space behind to have another building tower over it. I really liked how this looked, and I wanted to add a similar thing to the left. Well, that's where the secret modular comes in this week, as I actually have, can you guess? Another Assembly Square. So why two, you ask? Well, because there are two good REMOCs on Rebrickable that I had seen and wanted to try them out. So I picked this one up when it was 20% off on John Lewis last year. But both of these Brickable MOCs are so good, in fact, that I wanted to actually get another one to do the other MOC later on as well. Now, as I said, because I liked the idea of the Sesame Street one on one side, I thought the Jazz Cafe build would look amazing here on the other, especially since it's an inverted corner build, which I've never seen before. And this is where the hard work came in this week, as I've never done a REMOC this big before, and I thought it would be a fairly simple build, couple of hours work, and hey presto, you're done. Well, wrong. It's a total nightmare. Why? Well, first you have to unbag all of the pieces, and obviously the pieces aren't in order, which for a set as big as Assembly Square is a lot of pieces. And then comes the sorting. You know I'm not going to do that, but it would have made it easier though. So I just jumped in and started building it. Now, what's worse is the fact that because I wanted this set on the other side of Assembly Square, I also decided to mirror it. That's when you flip it around and you build basically a mirrored version of the set, just to make it harder for myself. Now, if any of you actually built this REMOC, you'll definitely agree that the instructions are not the best. The bricks for each section are highlighted in magenta, which makes it insanely hard to understand where each color goes, and obviously to throw a curveball and mirror the pictures using Adobe Illustrator, I was just really punishing myself this week. Steph and I had to build it over several days, as it took absolutely hours, but I'm so surprised I can say this week, and it probably helps that I also had 2 days off work, but I finished it, and the result is boss. The downstairs exterior looks insane with the blacked out front, giving it really cool nightclub vibes, with the lower floor containing a really cool kind of VIP lounge, a dance floor, and a stage, complete with instruments, including a built drum kit and a grand piano. Now, in future, I might change this to a DJ set instead, as the whole building is giving me those nightclub vibes, as I said, and I think adding the alien and robot from the Vimeo series as Lego variants of Daft Punk would look freaking cool. Anyways, the stairs upstairs again is your typical nightclub with a bar in the corner and a gun and injection on the walls. Yeah, no idea. And a pretty cool ballerina dancing pole in the middle. Well, she comes with the set. And then the really weird part of the set is the top floor with a fully decked out suite. Now, there are some really cool builds here, such as the bathroom sink and the toilet, but a random swing and too much kitchen cabinets makes the living room section just look a little bit overcrowded to me. But I get it the way the mocker was doing this, as they only had limited pieces. The 4-poster bed is pretty sweet as well. However, I have no idea why the owner accidentally left some money on it. Anyways, all in all, it's a pretty cool REMOC, and I'm definitely glad I built it, but I'll be waiting a while to do another one, as my patience is just, yeah, it just can't handle it again for a while. Now, adding it to the city, you can see that it just looks like it was made for it here. Even though technically these two buildings are the same in terms of like piece colors and stuff, it doesn't look like it at all. Now, I had to move some of the MOCs out of the way, but I'll find another area for them, perhaps on the shelf at the back, or maybe even slight mods to put them in the Ninjaga district in the future. But anyways, that's what I've ended up with this week. The front road is looking really clean now. I just need to add a little bit of hustle and bustle with some cars and minifig scenes, etc. And then with the park, the REMOC, and the added road in the front, I think it's really shaping up nicely. But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm absolutely loving the direction the city's going in, and it's definitely making me excited for the future updates. But if you enjoyed the video, then how about a like? And if you absolutely loved it, then how about subscribe? And as always, have an absolute awesome day.